Make sure we got sounds correct here. The Centennial School Board meeting is called to order on Wednesday, February 12th at 6:30 p.m. Quorum is present. We have a full board here today, which is fantastic. It's great to see so many people in our audience gallery as well, and I'm looking forward to hearing why everyone is here. So first off, I'm going to look to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
All those in favor, raise your hand. Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. All right, next up, come on in. Come on in, you're fine. Next up, I'm really excited because we've got some student recognition that we are going to do today, and I think that's why folks are here. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Superintendent Owens.
All right, I know our school board this year asked to see some students come and be recognized for their accomplishments, and lucky for us, we have students to recognize for their accomplishments tonight. So we have Centennial High School here, led by Principal Miller, and he is going to come up and introduce the folks that are here with us tonight, and they'll explain what the accomplishments are. And after we do those, we'll have our Chief Communications Officer, Christine Andrade, take some pictures, and we've got some certificates to provide as well. So looking forward to what we have to see with our presentation here. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Principal Miller.
Well, thank you, Superintendent Owens. We are very proud Eagles tonight. I'm going to have Mike Henderson first present some student awards. We have some students that are doing some very spectacular stuff, and we would like to recognize them. And then we're going to have a quick presentation because our MESA club got to go to PSU and do some really fun stuff. And I don't want to steal their thunder, so we're going to have them present. So first, we'll turn it over to Mr. Henderson.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Henderson. I've been up at the high school for 29 years. I was a classroom teacher, and then now I'm the college and career counselor up there. So Mr. Miller asked me to recognize a few of our students who have done outstanding things in terms of college admissions and college scholarships. So the first person I'm going to talk about is Emmanuel Sagai, who's seated over here. Oh, you can stand up if you'd like, Emmanuel. Emmanuel is a senior at CHS who has applied and been admitted to Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut. This is obviously one of the top universities in the U.S. and is an Ivy League school. Financially speaking, Ivy League schools meet 100% of the financial need of a student. As a result, Emmanuel told me recently that if he chooses to go to Yale, he'll only have to come up with a couple $1,000s a year to go to a school that costs about $87,000 a year to go to. Don't worry, though. He's a finalist for many, many scholarships that he has a very good chance to earn, so where he will likely end up getting paid to go to college wherever he chooses to go. Emmanuel is also still waiting to hear back from Harvard, Stanford, and Johns Hopkins so that he can fully consider all of his college options. In the past week, he was notified, or we were notified also, that he's a candidate for the U.S. Presidential Scholars Program, and he's also a National Merit Scholarship Program finalist. So in a nutshell, he's an outstanding student. Emmanuel plans to study bioengineering or biochemistry and is a great example of caring, intellect, hard work, and dedication. Congratulations, Emmanuel. Awesome. Libby's here too. The next, I'm going to talk about two different people. So I'm just going to have Lorenzo Machado stand up first. He's in the back over there. Lorenzo. And then we'll talk about Olivia, who just came in a moment. So there's a program called the QuestBridge National College Match, and it's a college admissions and scholarship process that actually starts when students are juniors. And it's for high-achieving students who could be admitted early with a full-ride four-year scholarship to many of the nation's top scholarships. Or top colleges, sorry. Through the National College Match application, students who have excelled academically despite financial hardship can highlight their unique story and stand out in the college admissions process. In the fall of this year, both these students I'm going to be talking about applied for QuestBridge or continued the process and were selected as top finalists and were able to rank their top 15 colleges to see if they can match with any of those. If a school matches with them, they get admitted early, and then they get the full financial scholarship to those schools. So the first person who's already standing, because I asked him to, is Lorenzo Machada. He's obviously a senior at Centennial who earned a Questbridge College Match Scholarship to Columbia University in New York City, New York. This is also obviously an Ivy League school with an outstanding reputation in the United States. Lorenzo told me recently that he plans to study both business and environmental engineering, and he's a wonderful representative of the Centennial community. So good job, Lorenzo. And then Olivia, if Olivia could stand up over here, she's back there. This is Olivia Fan. She's also a senior. She went through the Questbridge match program last year and this fall, and she was matched with Stanford University in, I thought it was Palo Alto, California, but I looked up and it's in Stanford, California, so maybe something changed there. But anyway, down in California. And obviously you guys know that Stanford is obviously a very prestigious university also, and she's going to be going there on a full-ride scholarship. She plans to study bioengineering, and once again is an outstanding role model for students in the Centennial School District. So good job, Olivia.
All right, so all of you, you're going to stay, when we take a break, you get a certificate, and we just want to give you a round of applause because you're representing what it really means to be an Eagle. All right,
Thank you. I would love to just congratulate each and every one of you for making the accomplishments that you have. That, I mean, incredible. The work that you've put in and how far you've been able to go. Your lives are about to explode and change, all for the better. And I'm so excited thinking about the three of you thriving in those environments. So thank you.
next, we're going to bring up presentation from our Mesa Club. So if you guys will come up here. They're going, you guys can explain this part of it. All right. All right, do you want to introduce yourselves and then also talk a little bit about the club, and then I will get the projection going.
My name's Audrey.
My name is Mimi.
My name's Joshna.
And Mesa is basically, it's like a robotics engineering type of club, which is why when we went to PSU, it was mostly focused on their engineering program there. And we'll talk about that field trip in a minute.
We will all offer these
Is there an issue with lecture?
Do you want to explain what STEM is?
Yeah, so STEM, I believe, stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. Yeah. And that's kind of like what Mesa is definitely preparing most of us for. So all of us that are in Mesa, there's about, I think, 20 people total, and like a bunch of freshmen all the way to seniors. And during club meetings right now, we're focusing on creating some sort of like, we're creating a project that's supposed to help with our environmental club. So we're kind of collaborating with them. And then we're going to have a bunch of different groups who are going to create a project, something that's going to help out the environmental club with whatever their goal is. And then we are going to present that project at conventions, which they start like very local, and then if you win those, you move on to like national conventions and stuff like that, which I think happened in San Francisco this year.
Are you all seniors?
We're all juniors.
You're all juniors?
Mm-hmm.
And is this your first year in this club?
Yeah, this is our first year in this club, but it's been at our school for a while, I'm sure, yeah.
So recently we went to a field trip at PSU, and that's what our presentation is going to be about. We're going to explain a bit about what we did there, the tech that we were shown, and we were hoping to talk about a future field trip idea for Mesa.
All right, so MESA stands for Mathematics, Engineering, Science Achievement. So it's basically very similar to STEM, just the words are kind of arranged differently. And on our next slide, we have, this is what we did at PSU. So when we first got there, they took us down to where they solder, like where there's students there. They make stuff that's obviously a little bit more complicated than what we made. But we were able to put components together with a soldering device, and we put it on a little like computer chip, and that was able to create a radio, which it did work. We can't present that to you today, but you can trust us that it did work. And everyone who was there was able to make their very own radio to take home, which was pretty cool, especially because like none of us, I think maybe one student had been able to use a soldering device before. And so it was a really cool experience that like, it was like, wow, I'm actually making something. And I think that a lot of people there, like they maybe weren't as interested in going into like an engineering like field. I think like getting experience doing that really kind of changes your perspective and really like makes you think about like, wow, like what do I want to be doing with the rest of my life? And I think that it was really fun for us to be able to do that.
So we were given a tour around PSU, and the tour was very friendly. She was very nice. And we were shown many different inventions and projects that PSU has to offer, as well as the students have created. So the picture of Mr. Clark in it, it shows the capillary fluidics and Trident drop tower. And it's one of the only 3 colleges in the world that has the machine. NASA has it, but it's way bigger than what PSU has, of course. And besides NASA, we can drop it 3 times a day. I remember the tourist, she talked about how there's a guy from France who came to PSU just for the Trident drop tower. The purpose of it is to create periods of microgravity with the free fall to stimulate space, and there's a camera inside the machine that students can observe. We were also taken into this room, and we got to meet some of the PSU students there. They were making the robotic leg that you see in the picture down below. It replicates the muscles in a leg, and the computer code gives the live feedback on movement, and it imitates how the brain sends signals to the joints. We were also shown another mechanic that PSU has, and it's the world's biggest barometer, and it measures air pressure, and it can forecast short-term weather changes.
Can we ask it about snow? Yes.
Okay. We would love another field trip. So this, our field trip at PSU really helped many of the club members rediscover their love for like robotics and STEM, and I've talked to a few of them, and they said after that field trip they really like found themselves like diving more deeper into it and going home, doing more research, and finding themselves to really like love like building stuff and just everything about being able to make something their own and then present it and hopefully help people around them too. And our goal is to inspire students to be interested, and with that field trip, I feel like we really achieved it, and I feel like if we were to have another opportunity, we will be able to have more students come along and help them find their passion into STEM. And information given to us by Mr. Clark's friend, there's another field trip opportunity for MESA on March 6th at 9:30 till 2:30 at the Federal Building of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So this field trip will help us really be with other engineers and see how their day in a life of an engineer is, and really help us see like in person how we build things, how they got into it, and hopefully we have a couple seniors in our club, help them like find connections and help them get some type of like closure, I guess, for them to be like, yeah, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And what we need for us to be able to go to that field trip is bus transportation and a substitute for Mr. Clark.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
listening.
you for listening.
Thank you so much. I love this. I honestly still remember going to PSU when I was in school and doing an engineering day. And just that the feeling of going from like what engineering is on paper to actually being in the room and problem solving and doing all the things is really exciting. And there weren't even computers back then. So I'm like, what is engineering even now? Yeah. Anyway, I digress. Fabulous. I'm really glad. I think that we can figure out something. I can't promise anything right now because that's not even my job, technically.
I just saw Mr. Miller give a thumbs up, so it looks like you,
Great.
looks like you're,
Congratulations. It's a go. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
At this point, do we want to take like a 5-minute break, take some pictures, and then we will reconvene?
All right. So.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Thank you for making that very brief. We are now back to it, 6:54 p.m. Next up, so I've got a little fun proclamation I would like to read. And coming up in March is Classified School Employees Week. But we're not having another board meeting in person until after that week. And so what we didn't want to do was not recognize our classified school employees. So instead of doing it after the fact, we're doing it early, a couple weeks. So, whereas education of our youth is imperative to Oregon and to our nation, and whereas classified school employees are a vital component of Oregon's public school system, and whereas classified employees work directly with all children, they are the school personnel responsible for the transportation and nutrition of our children, the maintenance of school property, they are the clerical workers and educational assistants. And whereas under the leadership of the Oregon School Employees Association, classified employees with their diverse talents have created the necessary environment essential to educating our youth. An educated Oregon is a healthy Oregon. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Centennial School District School Board designates the week of March 3rd through the 7th, 2025, as Classified School Employees Week. And be it further resolved that the Centennial School District calls on the community to join with it in personally thanking and recognizing classified staff for their dedication and devotion to their work. At this point, I'd love to invite up Dr. Katsuda. I hope that she was informed of that, just about what we're doing to celebrate this year.
That's very timely. We've been collaborating with OSCA, and I think we're going to change it up a little bit this year. For the last 3 years, we've held what has become known as a notorious breakfast burrito session Wednesday mornings before school, for a variety of reasons that worked then, but I think this year we're going to change it up, not have breakfast burritos. Probably on Tuesday afternoon. We're still working out the details, and we'll send out an invitation, but it's going to be more like a fun celebration with singing and music and something called cornhole celebration, so we can have fun together. I don't know what that is, but I said I'd have to see it and sort of approve it first, just in case. And then we have food trucks coming, and we'll be providing food for our classified employees. And the idea is we get to have a little some fun together and some good food together and enjoy some time. So it'll probably be the afternoon, which is Tuesday, March 4th, probably 3 to 5 or 4 to 6 or something like that. And when we get the details confirmed, we'll send out an invitation to the board and cabinet. So yeah.
I always like to have a role or
Oh.
something to do as a board member. If I
Okay.
could be serving or participating in some way.
Okay, I will
find that
sign you
funner
up.
Than just talk,
Yes.
I'll be on a cornhole.
You'll be on a cornhole team. Apparently, there'll be lots of cornholing, whatever that means. I don't know what that means, but lots of boards and bean bags or something. I don't know, but yes. Perfect.
Hopefully there's going to be a tournament.
I was
There's
going to say,
There is a tournament, and one of our schools hosts a professional cornhole team, and they have boards and equipment. I mean,
Cool.
it's a bigger deal than I ever knew, because I actually didn't know about cornholing. But yes, so there's going to be stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Welcome all. It'll be a fun time. So.
thank you very much.
Yep.
The last time that I said that I didn't know what something was, Director Stanley brought a geode in, so you might.
I have my own home-built cornhole set. Do you? And then we can practice. So, I got you. It's easier than the geode. That took some shipping, and it's complicated. Hammers. I got yelled at.
Exciting. Well, thank you to our classified staff. We appreciate everything you do. Report. All right, approval of minutes. The January 22nd, 2025 board meeting minutes were sent out in board book. Were there any edits or changes that need to be made? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and call for motion.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
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 The ayes have it. Minutes from January 22nd will be posted, approved. Next up, we have public forum, which I do not believe I saw anything coming through for that. Correct? Thank you. Next up, let's move on to reports. First off, we have our student representative report. And so at this time, I would love to turn it over to Lashmay and Claire.
Hello. Long time no see. It's been a month or two. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. But we're here today with our Centennial High School report and talking about classified staff. In the week of March, our students in Student Council will also be preparing some stuff for our classified staff at the high school, and each day will have something new, and you'll see that next month. Yeah. But yeah, if you'll see, there's a rose on everyone. Today I went and bought roses, but I'm hoping for a snow day, but I'm also hoping that not, because I bought too many roses for them to go bad. Okay. But yeah, we've been selling roses for Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everyone here.
How much are you selling this for?
$2. And then they come with like a little note. But today our swim team went to their swim meet to go to state, and 2 of our Eagles are going to state. So that's great. We'll wish them the most luck.
So this month is Black History Month, and on February 3rd to 7th, we had Spirit Week. It was hosted by the Black Student Union. On Monday, we had PJ Days and Stuffed Animal Day. Tuesday was Activism Day. You can wear a t-shirt or clothing that represents activism. On Wednesday, it was Culture Day. Thursday was Black Artist Appreciation Day. And Friday was Pan-African Flag Day. And today, BSU also shares slides to every advisory educating students about Black history.
And then we actually have a motivational speaker coming soon to Centennial High School. He was supposed to come about a week ago, but then he ended up catching something, and so we had to postpone. And he will be going to Centennial High School as well as both of our middle schools to do an assembly for our students. And in his description, it says, Dr. Hicks shares his passion and empowers his audiences to believe in their dreams. Dr. Hicks' story is moving. His words are blazing. He's a youth speaker who doesn't just talk. He talks their language from his heart to theirs. So we're really excited to see him, and hopefully we'll be able to bring in a short little video next time. Yeah, that's really it for this month at Centennial High School.
Thank you so much for putting that all together. Appreciate it. Next up, even more exciting, if you would, the 2023-24 Comprehensive Audit Findings Report. Superintendent Owens, is there anything you'd like to share before?
All right, as a government agency, we have an annual audit, and I will turn it over to Director Southerton to orient us a little bit more to that and to introduce our audit presenters today to give us information about the audit findings.
Wonderful. Bear with me here just a moment. I'll cue things up. Great. Good evening. And on the Zoom call, we also have Brian Thompson from Polly Rogers, our outside independent audit firm, who will be presenting their findings for the board as well. So, as Superintendent Owens touched on, an annual outside audit is required by statute and is filed with the Secretary of State every single year. They follow the generally accepted accounting principles, otherwise known as GAAP, and municipal law, and make sure we're in compliance with all our grant and reporting requirements. Overall, the summary was no material findings, a clean opinion, and our net financial position of the district improved by $1.9 million. Overall, they found sound practices and procedures on the district level. At the school level, there was also no material findings, a clean opinion, but opportunities for improvement with training with school secretaries and principals, timeliness of reconciliations, and addressing staffing turnover. With that, I will turn it over to Brian to present his findings.
Thank you, Paul, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As Paul mentioned, I'm Brian Thompson. I'm the representative for Polly Rogers, and I also have Timothy Lamott. He's part of the Zoom audience, and so he's my supervisor and all that, but I digress. Yeah, like Paul mentioned, everything looks great in the audit report for this year, 2024. Everything followed the GAAP standards, accounting principles, auditing standards. Everything looked great on our end there. And then, like Paul mentioned, we issued a clean opinion, which basically means there were no substantial findings, and again, everything looks great there. And then there was no management letter. We only issued that if there were any significant deficiencies during the audits, and fortunately, we did not find anything there. So, yep, just like Paul said, everything looked great, and I have nothing additional to add on top of that. And I'll welcome any questions that the board may have at this time.
Thank you very much.
John, I'm not sure if we can put Timothy on the screen or not. Oh, there you go. You're on our screen now, Timothy. But we were able to hear you all throughout, so
Very good,
it might be helpful for the board to see you as well. I welcome any questions you may have about the financial audit report. There are two different reports, but both are required, the student body accounts and then the district financial system. So Director Andrews or others?
Please.
So I had a couple of questions. One was on page Roman numeral 12 of the first report. And if you could, I don't know, Paul, or if Brian wants to do it, talk about that first bullet on that page with a little more.
Yeah, build that out for you.
Yeah, just fill it out.
For sure, yeah. So we're talking about the highlights of the overall financial statement. So Roman numeral 12 page summarizes the overall net position of the district. So thinking that the district financially, holistically, our total assets, both cash and cash equivalents, buildings, capital assets, and whatnot, minus our total liabilities. So our debt that we have on future bond payments, on school bus payments, on deferred liabilities for early retirement, PERS, et cetera, improved by $1.9 million this year. So we had a better net financial position. It was still a negative financial position. So if you look on page 4 of the actual report, it will build out kind of overall what was our position of assets, what were our positions of deferred liabilities, what were our positions of deferred inflows, what were debts, long-term debt, short-term debt, OPEB debt, or Oregon Public Employee Benefit. We have an actuary provide an assessment of our liabilities going forward each year as part of our outside audit, and so it's discussing our overall net financial position of the district. Is that helpful? And Brian, feel free to clean up anything I missed there.
Nope, that is accurate from what you're saying. Very good. Thank you.
Did you have any other questions?
Then I also wanted to be assured that on the report on agreed upon procedures, there were a number of findings. I know all basically immaterial, but it still is highlighting that there needs to be some improvement. I know the date of the report was October, so I'm assuming things have happened since then. But.
Yeah, great question. And so that's what the student body activity account, student activity accounts, and we had quite a bit of turnover at the school level, both in principals and at secretaries, and at times they struggled with timely reconciliation of the monthly banking statement. So these are field trips, when they collect money for a field trip and then pay the money out, when they collect student fees and then buy things on students' behalf. So just making sure that we're having sufficient documentation. This is one of the areas that, has been in the newspapers in the past, not in our district, but in other districts for fraud and misuse and abuse. So absolutely having timely reconciliation of these funds and making sure that we have solid documentation on the money coming in and the money going out is a critical, important matter for us. So at the district level, our accountant in the business office works with the school secretaries and the principals each month to receive copies of their reconciled bank statements, to receive copies of their trial balances, to make sure their inflows and their outflows match. And we did have some issue with getting that in a timely manner and supporting secretaries with turnover. So it's an opportunity for improvement. It's one that's ongoing right now for us, for sure. Overall, we were reassured that, and Timothy and Brian said that they encounter, other districts have not as good a documentation as we've had, but there's certainly opportunity for us to improve. Brian, I again welcome anything you need to clean up there if I misspoke or anything you'd like to add.
No, I don't have anything additional to add to that. However, I guess I can kind of briefly go into how we interact with Paul and his team. So we essentially meet with Paul and his team during an interim period. This would be before the end of the fiscal year, which would be June 30th. And then we also meet up again kind of during a couple months after the fact, which we call our final field work, to help kind of bring everything together into what you see in the report that you see now. And yes, it does. We do work in tandem with the audit team to get all the bank statements, bank reconciliations, like Paul mentioned, and that kind of goes in line with a lot of our sampling, a lot of our analytical procedures, and everything that goes into that.
Thank you. Other questions? Thank you very much.
All right.
Do we have a time with the auditors without the staff? Without the administration?
Is that something?
Isn't that usually something we do? No?
No, I'm not tracking. I'm sorry.
I thought that you guys left the room for a few minutes and we had a direct conversation.
Oh, I'm happy to leave the room. Would you like me to come back, or would you like me to just leave?
Ryan, is that something you commonly do, is have conversations with the board members without the administration here? Did he hear me? I'm not on. Am I? No, it's green.
Brian, are you able to hear us? Director Andrews?
Oh, yeah, I heard you. Could you repeat that question again?
Is that something you commonly do, is have a meeting with the board members without the administration in the room?
I don't believe, as far as I know, we don't.
Okay.
I don't think it's necessary to have a one-on-one conversation between me and the board, but I don't think it's necessary. I think Paul and I kind of have brought up everything that we needed to as far as the report goes.
You're all good. Thank you. We'll follow up and figure something out.
There is the opportunity to fill out the form about the process of budgeting, et cetera. So I don't know if that's something that you also thinking about.
Oh, that form that we get at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
Where we do that kind of work, but
Right,
not
right.
this.
Right, when we communicate directly with the
Right.
auditors, yes.
Yeah. And the audit is on behalf of the board, right? This is
Right.
an oversight and a service to the board.
Yes.
And so I'm sure reaching out with OSBA or otherwise, there's a way to connect with Polly Rogers directly and, and make sure that you feel fully informed and ask any questions and have full transparency.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have the student transfer report. Thank you, Brian and Polly Rogers.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, as Dr. Katsuda's teeing that up, I'll just orient you. This is an annual report that we have that outlines the different processes related to student transfers, either from in the district between schools, or outside the district into the district, or inside the district out of the district as well. It's intended to give you an orientation of the overall process so that when you take action later this evening, you'll have some idea of how the process functions. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Katsuda to show us what she's got.
Great. Good evening, board. This brief presentation is designed to provide you with an overview and recommendation for the district's transfer timelines and the number of students to transfer in and out of the district in support of the board policy, which requires the board to establish these figures. I'd like to, before we move forward, recognize the fact that I am one member of a team of folks who work on school transfers, Angela Colantino, who works here in the district office. Many of you are familiar with her. She facilitates the district transfer processes, which involves communicating and coordinating with families and between districts, and supporting the transfer process in the midst of all of that. So I wanted to make sure that I recognized her in that. There are two different kinds of transfers: intra-transfers between schools within our district, and inter-transfers between districts. Students who currently live within the Centennial School District boundaries may request to attend another elementary or middle school within our district. Decisions are typically not made until late August, about the time that schools have been able to confirm enrollment. The following conditions are considered when a transfer within the district is requested: whether or not there's adequate space and staff availability at the grades requested, whether or not the parent can provide transportation to and from school, the appropriateness of the educational need, which may be named by the parent in the request of the transfer, and all approved transfers are contingent upon adherence to school behavioral, attendance, and punctuality guidelines. And the duration of the transfer is through the highest grade level offered at that school. So 5th grade for elementary, 8th grade for middle. All right, so interdistrict transfers into Centennial School District. The local school district, by board action, determines the number of students it can accept from outside the district through interdistrict transfer process. District may decide the number of students to admit at the district, school, grade level, length of time, and whether a renewal is required. The process for an interdistrict transfer requires parents or guardians to contact their resident school district to request an interdistrict transfer release out of that district. The release serves as the application into Centennial School District, and no additional paperwork is required. To establish a recommended number of students to accept through interdistrict transfer and ensure effective school enrollment, we reviewed current enrollment, the physical capacity of our schools, staffing, our district goals, and our district needs. Our recommendation to the board for the 2025-26 school year is to allow 195 non-resident students to transfer into the district. And we'll continue to monitor school and grade level enrollment and transfer numbers to maintain effective programming in consideration of that 195 number of students. If more students apply than allotted spaces are available, a lottery will be held after the August deadline that we've set forth here. All right. All right, so Mid-year move transfers are granted for 1 school year, and for students who move during the summer and have missed the inter-district transfer process. These apply to students who move into Centennial School District boundaries after the application is due for inter-district transfers out of the district and wish to remain at their last attended school district. Or students who move out of Centennial School District boundary after the deadline into another school district and wish to remain in Centennial School District for the remainder of the year. And I'll also remind you of the caveat that if that happens, the parent is responsible for transportation. Students who move out of state must register and enroll their student in the out-of-state school district, and all that's tied to school district funding. Right. Are there any questions about that? Or any questions so far? All right. If an application for an inter-district transfer is denied, a parent has the option to submit a hardship appeal. We carefully review the appeal, and I contact the parents personally to determine whether or not it qualifies as a hardship as defined by Oregon statute. A hardship includes, as you see here, housing instability, documented medical condition, student safety, which could include documented harassment, intimidation, and bullying as it relates to their educational experience, and domestic violence. And this is important to keep in mind because in a future slide we're going to be talking about the number of hardship appeals, and all of those are tied to these reasons. Right? So you'll see here a table that outlines the data for, oh, do you have a question?
Does McKinney-Vento, do those count as the hardship waivers, or is that like separate?
That is separate. Students have McKinney-Vento rights within their district. They can stay within their school and their district as per McKinney-Vento. These would count, and they're connected in the fact that they have housing instability, but they may not be McKinney-Vento qualifying.
Okay, gotcha.
Mm-hmm. So you see here, quite a few years back, what is that, 7-year trend you see here on transfers at a glance, transfers within the district, into the district, and out of the district, and mid-year and summer moves into the district. I'd like to highlight 2 numbers here. As we shared last year, you'll see the highlight under 2021. At the very bottom, mid-year summer moves into the district. I highlighted that number because it sticks out, right? And we talked about this last year, but we have some new folks to the group, so I want to make sure that as we shared last year, the number of mid-year summer moves in 2020-21 is primarily due to the pandemic, and it was related to shifts in emergency closure, distance learning, to hybrid models of schooling. Guidelines at that time around transfers, attendance, et cetera, were fairly loosened, and tracking students' living location was challenging at that time. And therefore, resident schools had fluctuating numbers of transfers that year. So a lot of that's due to fluctuations in our population and the needs in our population during that time. The district transfers dropped significantly this year. District in was held steady at about 60 for the last 4 years. Inter-district transfers out has increased by 30 students. That shows how significantly impacted our community is. As you remember, the qualifying reasons of housing instability, medical conditions, et cetera, right? And that's something we take into consideration. So you see here highlighted for this school year, inter-district out, we released 101 students from our district this year on hardship appeals. Our community is significantly impacted, and those students qualified based on the criteria. Are there any questions about the data?
Is that all hardship, or was that part of the 30? The 30?
This is all hardship, not part of the 30.
I think it's
Oh, wait.
It's the 30 plus.
I have a slide coming up that'll confirm that. Don't catch me. So here we go. So 101, includes all of the transfers. So I misspoke. 3 seniors, automatically granted. Siblings, automatically granted, as we have in our policy and our procedures. There were 24 language immersion transfers, which we grant because we do not offer language immersion in the district. And then the lottery, which we allocated, but it's 27 hardships that went out. So that equals the 101. All right. So it is recommended that the board adopt the guidelines that I have outlined here for student transfers for the 2025-26 school year. Number of non-resident students to attend Centennial School that we would transfer in would be up to 195 students, depending on grade level and school space and availability. Length of request, highest grade offered at the level that they're requesting into. And that the out-of-district transfer requests is 30. Again, students who meet the qualifying criteria of automatic out-of-district transfers would be students who are siblings, who have siblings already enrolled in another district, were enrolled in their requested district as an 11th grader. So if they went to Gresham Barlow as an 11th grader, but their family moved to Centennial as a 12th grader, but they're requesting to graduate in Gresham Barlow, we would grant that, for example. And then, again, accessing immersion programs as per requested by parents.
Do we know a breakout of what immersion programs people are, like, or is there, do we have a large percentage in Russian over Spanish or something? I'm just curious what our folks.
Chinese and Spanish.
Great, thank you. And if somebody wants, like, if somebody's going to an online academy that's not our online academy, does that count in there?
Mm-mm.
No. Anybody can withdraw to do an online school, and I guess I don't know.
So there are some guidelines around requesting to go to online alternative schools.
Yes.
And so one of the things that we do in the district is we have CVA and a variety of other, we need to have 2 viable offerings in order to decline the request for someone to seek transfer to an online school. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, I was
James?
just going to add to that response, which is we have Centennial Virtual Academy, but if a family wants their student to attend a virtual academy somewhere in the school or in the state, they're allowed to do that. They don't have to select Centennial Virtual Academy, and it's up to 3% of the district's total enrollment before we can apply a cap to it. And so during COVID, it is the time that we had an issue where we were potentially exceeding that 3% cap. Generally speaking, in normal circumstances, you don't, but there was a larger appetite at that time for that type of educational experience. And so the fact that we offer 2 online options allows us to employ that 3% cap.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Excellent. So
Other
yeah.
questions? Go ahead.
My question is about CVA and the do students going from a school to CVA count as an intra-district transfer?
Right now, we don't have it set up that way because CVA has some capacity. Right? And the trends and the patterns we're seeing doesn't show that we need that. So they unenroll in their school and they enroll in CVA. And that has worked out just fine.
It doesn't count, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I just want to make sure I heard you correct. Did we say we're seeing a rise in hardship requests because of housing instability?
It spans all, am I still? Yep, I am. All reasons you see here, there's not one reason that weighs heavier than another.
So so that's not a primary indication that you're
There's
seeing
not.
quite yet?
There's an increase in hardship appeals, but they span all of these particular reasons. There's not.
I'm curious because of COVID, resources running out and rentals, assistance and things like that
It's hard to
expiring.
say families share what they share, right? But our community is highly impacted, and I would say there's not necessarily one particular pattern or
Okay, great.
one particular reason sticking out over another at this point.
Have you noticed over the time that you've done this is your fourth year of being involved in this process, have you noticed an uptick in housing instability as a reason, or has it stayed pretty consistent?
It stayed pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Any other questions? All righty,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
All right, next on our agenda is the superintendent's report. What do you have for us, Superintendent Owens?
All right, I generally like to tell you whether you're on the long or the short end of a report, and you're on the longer end of a report, so that should be a good thing. There's a lot of things happening in the district. So greetings, board members. It's my pleasure and privilege to share with you this update about happenings in the school district. And this first slide was a late arrival because it was still being assembled as you were coming in this evening. As you know, we have a district office display that features artwork from various schools. And so this month we have a district office display from Centennial High School. And teacher Jenica Castillo-Hardin was putting it up right as you were coming in. And she wrote a little description for me to explain to you what you'll be seeing when you leave this evening, or anybody in the gallery who ends up coming into the district office. So the artwork in the lobby is recent work done by students at Centennial High School. There are pieces representing Art 1, Art 2, Studio Art, Sculpture 1, and Sculpture 2. You will see food sculptures, which you'll see off to the right here, made of all things toilet paper. Modular sculptures, which are made from recycled food boxes, metal and glass drawings created with charcoal and graphite, and street art style names done in colored pencil. Students learn about famous artists that relate to the work that they're doing and complete artist studies to show their learning and their perspective on the artist. So as you leave this evening, hopefully you have a chance to take a look at the artwork that was displayed, and thank you to teacher Castillo-Hardin for putting that together for us. As was noted in our student report, I'd like to recognize that February is Black History Month. It's an opportunity to celebrate the incredible ingenuity, strength, and resilience of African Americans, and a time for recognizing their central role in U.S. history. This month, Centennial schools will highlight and honor some figures who have broken barriers and helped pave the way for many others, both in the Portland area and beyond. This past week, February 3rd through 7th, was National School Counseling Week. School counselors provide an essential role at all levels of our district. They're uniquely trained in child development, learning strategies, self-management, and social skills, and they understand and promote success for students. Our school counselors implement a counseling program which provides education, prevention, and intervention activities that are all integrated into the aspects of children's lives, teaching knowledge, attitudes, and and skills students need to acquire in academic, career, and social emotional development, which serves as a foundation for future success. And as you can imagine, their work is quite aligned with the needs of our students and Roadmap 27. Career and Technical Education Month takes place each February to celebrate career and technical education, also known as CTE, and the accomplishments of CTE programs and the importance of CTE for all students and ages. Centennial School District proudly provides on-ground and virtual CTE pathways to approximately 1,000 students in over 30 CTE classes, with coursework that covers a variety of fields, including culinary, hospitality, computers and technology, manufacturing, as well as business and marketing. The power of CTE at Centennial extends beyond theoretical knowledge, focusing on practical applications that equip students with employable skills. Collaborative efforts among students in these programs result in a vibrant learning community where creativity and innovation thrive. The program's hands-on learning experiences engage students and contribute to higher retention rates and academic success for our students. And as I was putting this together, I took a look at our graduation rate, and in Centennial, the four-year graduation rate for CTE concentrators this past year was 94.6%. So as you can see, CTE programs play a crucial role in shaping the future workforce with well-prepared skills graduates need to tackle the challenges in the professional world. and of course align with Roadmap 27 Goal 5, preparing every student for their future. Speaking of career and technical education, this next week, our district's CTE guru and CVA principal, Dr. Zach Ramberg, and I plan to join other key community leaders from business education, government, and service providers in the region for the kickoff of Advancing Semiconductors in East County. Convened by Mount Hood Community College President Dr. Lisa Scari, this will be the first in what we expect to be many conversations with the shared goal of supporting economic development in our region, and I look forward to providing further updates as this work develops. As I mentioned in the last couple of updates this past month, we have been focusing our attention on building out the profile of a Centennial graduate. On Thursday, January 30th, we hosted a parent and community forum bringing together families, educators, and community partners to continue shaping this important work. The discussion of approximately 45 participants was engaging, thoughtful, with the participants sharing their perspectives on the essential competencies our students need for success. To provide further context on this work, we have provided a short video that outlines the profile of a graduate and its role in guiding our instructional work moving forward. So I'm going to hopefully not fumble with technology here and hopefully not watch it. And there we go.
Students in today's classrooms are tomorrow's leaders, creators and innovators, and global
Of course,
citizens.
I'm going to pause. I know that there's a box on the wall that improves the volume for people, and it would be nice if we could get that up a little bit. Let's see if this...
Students in today's classrooms are tomorrow's leaders, creators and innovators, and global citizens, shaping a future defined by rapid change and technological advancement. Centennial School District's Profile of a Graduate envisions preparing every student to thrive in our evolving world, equipped to master knowledge yet unknown, harness technologies yet to be created, and tackle challenges still awaiting solutions.
Profile of a Graduate embodies 6 dynamic elements that drive our vision for excellence. The first is being academically prepared. This means that students are demonstrating effective reading, writing, speaking, and listening skills, communicating using multiple modes and languages, and leveraging appropriate tools, resources, and strategies.
The next dynamic element of our Profile of a Graduate is being passionate and purposeful. This means that we as students are experiencing learning that supports us in understanding our own personal strengths, practicing self-reflection, and setting goals, developing plans, and taking action.
Third in our list is Care for Self, where students are developing the critical ability to prioritize personal health and wellness, cultivate positive and healthy relationships, and advocate for ourselves and our community.
Speaking of community, the fourth dynamic element in our vision is care for community. This means that students are engaging in learning that empowers us to honor cultural identities in ourselves and others, participate in responsible civic engagement, and advocate for social and racial justice.
Being inquisitive and innovative is the fifth element in our vision for excellence. We want to be immersed in learning that cultivates our capacity to maintain a curious mindset, think flexibly and creatively, and generate solutions to complex issues.
Last on our list is that we are future ready. We need to be engaged in dynamic learning that sharpens our ability to make informed decisions, develop skills to navigate life, and pursue our future plans.
Planning for meaningful learning throughout our students' pre-K-12 journey to cultivate the visionary attributes we strive for is essential. This winter, we took a significant step forward by bringing together students, parents and family members, staff, and community partners to collaboratively lay the groundwork for this vision. Together, we began the process of developing a comprehensive teaching and learning roadmap designed to guide teachers and students towards this vision. We are excited about the remarkable progress achieved during our design sessions and look forward to presenting our comprehensive phase plan to the district community once finalized. Please visit our website at csd28j.org/graduate profile for updates on the development of Centennial's plan to actualize our profile of a graduate.
And it was nice to see some of our stars here in the room.
Some good cinematography too, was that you? No?
Some great voiceover work. Yeah.
As we continue this process, next Tuesday, February 18th, we've invited leaders from our community partnerships, many of whom participated in the alignment team from our strategic planning process a couple of years ago, to participate in a community partner virtual forum. Our community partners have a unique vantage point on our district system and how we intersect to support students. The alignment team was an important part of our development process in Roadmap 27, so we felt re-engaging this committee would be a beneficial element as we develop the profile of a graduate. On the screen, you'll see a screen capture from one of our 3 alignment team virtual work sessions from 2023 to give you an idea of what this will look like next week. I know a few of our board members have indicated that they are able to attend this session, so I look forward to seeing a few of you in attendance. But wait, there's more. Next Tuesday will be a busy day as we will also be reconvening the profile of a graduate design team for their 3rd work session. In this session, the design team will develop ideas for experiences that students need to have to be able to practice, demonstrate, and reflect on the growth aligned with the profile of a graduate qualities, both in the classroom and in the community. The design team will also consider what a demonstration of learning aligned to these qualities could look like in key transition years, such as grades 2, 5, 8, 10, and 12. Switching gears here, this past month, Director Southerton and I had the opportunity to meet with the Instructional Technology Department as well as the Dining Services Department, respectively, for our twice-yearly collaborative work sessions. This is an evolution from listening sessions we've held over the last few years to collaborative problem-solving sessions where employees from district operations departments work with us to co-construct solutions to some of the problems of practice that they as a group have previously identified. In both of the sessions that I just mentioned, it was nice to see the level of ownership department staff have been taking in identifying problems of practice and suggesting possible solutions or support that is needed. We have a Preschool for All update, and we also have our preschool administrator, Kendra Hughes, here as well. Over the past couple of years, I've been sharing periodic updates about our ongoing efforts to extend preschool services across our district. This evening, I'm pleased to announce that we will be expanding preschool classrooms from just Powell Butte this year to Meadows Elementary and Patrick Lynch Elementary schools next year, with each having 2 classrooms per school intended to serve 15 students in each class. In addition, Little Eagles at Centennial High School will transition to become a Preschool for All site, which will convert the 2 current half-day classes to a 1 full-day classroom, and there will not be an admission fee. Now it'll be free. For context, in November of 2020, voters supported Preschool for All to connect 3- and 4-year-olds in Multnomah County to free, culturally responsive, inclusive preschool experiences. This past Monday marked the first bargaining session between the Centennial Education Association, or CEA, and the Centennial School District for negotiations for a successor contract. At this session, the teams made introductions, they reviewed ground rules for bargaining, and exchanged first proposals. The next session is scheduled in 2 weeks on February 24th from 4:30 to 7:30 in the Centennial Middle School Library and is opened to licensed and administrative staff. In an effort to keep the community informed on the bargaining process, we intend to provide updates on negotiation sessions via email and on a newly created negotiations webpage, which can be found in the Human Resources Department on the district website. And this is an example. I think it's live, but it hasn't yet been publicized, so you're getting the first look. Speaking of new web pages, Chief Communications Officer Christine Andreg has partnered with Executive Assistant to the board, Missy Grindle, to develop a web page intended to provide relevant information to the community about the application process to fill one of our 4 open board seats on the Centennial School Board for the May 2025 election. As you know, positions 1, 3, 6, and 7 are up for election in May, and the webpage, which isn't pictured here, but will go live here shortly, is part of a broader communications plan, which includes social media posts, information in the superintendent's update newsletter, and a press release to the Gresham Outlook for print media inclusion later this month. So I just wanted you to know that we were working on that and have a plan. On Saturday, February 22nd, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Centennial High School will host the East County Learn, Share, Do Fair. There will be a whole range of things to enjoy, from free repair services to climate resiliency discussions. All are welcome to the event, and it includes free lunch, free pantry food, free chiropractic services, household sharps, prescription medications, CFL bulb and battery collection, a bike helmet giveaway, clothing swap, and other community resources. Participants will have the opportunity to learn about preparing for extreme heat, emergency preparedness, saving energy on money and utility bills, caring for trees and plants, making non-toxic cleaners, gardening, transportation options, and more. The event is co-hosted in collaboration with the City of Gresham, City of Portland, Community Services Network, and Multnomah County. And thank you to Principal Miller for the work of the high school team in helping to accommodate this. And finally, a topic that is on the mind of many is inclement weather. Our team plans to meet at 5 a.m. tomorrow to evaluate weather conditions and forecast and make a determination at that time as to the plans for the day. As always, student, staff, and community safety will be our priority in our decision-making process. Any changes to our normal operations will be communicated through a variety of venues, including Flash Alert, Parent Square, and social media, and our district website. And I know our students over here have mixed feelings about whether we should have a snow day tomorrow or not. And with that, I invite any questions or comments you might have, and that concludes my superintendent's report.
Please.
Just a quick clarifying question about the Little Eagles preschool. Will the high school students still be partnering with the Preschool for All program?
I have a
with the Little
feeling
Eagles?
that's why Kendra decided, even though I didn't ask her, I did call her a little bit earlier and asked to clarify some information, and I know that she would be happy to come to the mic.
It's
and
just so near
address
and
that
dear to my
question
heart.
for you.
Please fill me in.
Yes, so are you referring to the cadets that work in the Little Eagles? So yes, they will be. So I've been working with our district partners like Gresham Barlow to see what their program looks like, David Douglas, et cetera. And yes, we are going to be able to offer that level of education and then on-hand support in the classrooms. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Can I ask a clarifying question about inclement weather?
Please do.
If other districts start announcing things, are you going to change your mind, or are we not going to see anything until 5 in the morning?
Well, depends on which other districts you're talking about.
I don't know.
Because I am in communication with a lot of the other districts that you may be referring
Okay.
to, and there's a common understanding that we'll be looking at tomorrow morning
5 a.m.
as the time. Yeah.
I
know-
totally get it. Oregon weather is very unpredictable. But let me tell you, as a parent, it's, the figuring everything out at 5 in the morning is not as fun as figuring it out at 8 the night before.
This is true, and some districts on the west side have already declared a 2-hour delay in advance of making another decision, so that's
Yeah.
a way to go as well, so.
And you know what happens when kids get to school and then the weather gets bad.
That is not a good scenario. So if this forecast is materializing as they're predicting and it holds up for tomorrow, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We don't want to put our kids at risk.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
2 years ago it was terrible. And we also recognize it's impossible to make the perfect decision. Like, it just,
Well, and I would say kudos to Director Southerton and our Transportation Director, Sean Schroeder, because this isn't the first evening we've been doing this. We've been doing this for the last week and a half. Last week, we had what Director Wright called the snow fake-out, where it seemed like every night we were thinking there might be something, and then it didn't materialize. So we'll see.
Thank you.
We'll see.
Other questions? Thank you very much, everyone. 7:48, let's go ahead and take a 10-minute bathroom break. Thank you.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Next up, we have confirmation items. Love to confirm these en masse. Can I hear a motion to approve?
Move we approve confirmation items.
Second.
All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Fantastic. Now we move on to board action items. And for there's no old business currently, but we have one item for new business, and that is approving the student transfer limits for the 2025-2026 school year that Dr. Katsuda presented earlier.
All right, as she's getting set up, you had the opportunity to see her report previously. We intentionally embedded my report afterwards so that you would have an opportunity to digest the information that you received before you took action on the transfer limits. And so those were provided in board book, and Dr. Katsuda will orient you to what your decision points are and call for action.
In board note, you'll see a repeat of the information I provided in my presentation, but specifically on the second page, the inter-district transfer requests here, the limits for each school, totaling 195 student slots. It is recommended that the board adopt the attached guidelines and the number of student slots for inter-district transfers.
Please.
Maybe I should have asked this before, but one of the documents in board book talked about the fact that the state had changed the type of information you can collect when children request a transfer.
Yes.
Does that affect the hardship transfers then? Do they just need to identify that they are having a hardship transfer, or, I mean, because it seemed like you couldn't collect any personal data.
Correct. And for the most part, that's what these numbers allow us to do, is to establish a particular number of which transfers can automatically happen. But beyond that, the hardship appeals requires the parents or guardians who are requesting it to specify what kind of hardship it is.
Okay.
And then that results in a personal conversation with them to learn more if I have questions.
So the new law doesn't prohibit you from learning information about
Correct.
hardship requests?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions or thoughts? All right, I would love to hear a motion.
Motion to approve the student transfer limits for 2025-2026 school year as presented.
Seconded.
All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
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 The ayes have it. Fantastic. Let's talk about future agenda items.
So we have a couple of things here. Number one, and this item may need to go back to the chair after I read the rest of it, which is the February 26th work session we had intended for the OEGC training, and that we recently learned, and I think I provided my recent update, that the training is also provided asynchronously as a recorded webinar through OSBA, and so we were just going to kick it to that format for people to do their training at their own time. And since that was the only schedule item, potentially cancel the work session that's scheduled for February 26th. So that item will go back to the chair for further discussion if needed. And then on March 12th, for the board meeting, we have license contract renewals or non-renewals. And then also Mount Hood Community College has a bond presentation that they're intending to come and provide as well.
Fantastic. Please.
Can we, or can somebody give me where to look or ask for trying to develop a caps and gowns borrowing closet? I've had a couple of teachers reach out and talk to me about whether we can just establish something for graduates, and also, like, there's just random red gowns hanging in so many closets that we don't ever use ever again. Like, if there was a way to have a nook and cranny somewhere that the counselors could know about, that kids could go and get caps and gowns instead of having to purchase them if it's really a struggle. I know there's a fund somewhere to help kids with that, but it also just seemed like an easy thing if we could gather some of those things back that already exist, and then only have to purchase maybe caps and tassels instead of the gowns. Just if we could have a conversation about that, or somebody could steer me where that could happen, that would be.
That's a great concept. I'm not wanting to put anyone on the spot, but I'm just looking at Principal Millard and Director Wright to see if there was anything that they're aware of that's already established, or any ideas that might generate for you based on the concept.
All my initial thinking is teaming up with our clothing closet. Through Jocelyn's, we actually do get an X number of scholarships where we're able to actually waive fees for caps and gowns, and then we actually work. It's not usually an issue. What we do find is when I talk to students, because this question has come up before, they would, even though they would still like to have new as compared to used, and so that's one of the things. So we try very hard to get them those experiences in it. But yeah, we could definitely look into something with the clothing closet, because that would be a nice space that's already there, and we could team up with that.
And I don't want to belittle having something new, but if there were more than one option,
Yep.
And it's easy and non-embarrassing and whatever. I'm thinking of our foster families too. There's just a lot of need all the time, and it just seemed if we could at least say this existed, then we could remove some of that stigma and some of the hurdles, maybe.
Well, I could definitely look into this and get back to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've got it jotted down. We'll work on it and get back to you.
Do they change the colors every other year?
Look, I have 3 red gowns in my closet.
I know we've seen blue, but, okay,
So many red gowns.
we would be coordinating the color. Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a related question? That I should probably wait until afterwards. But how does that work? Like, I know I paid for cap and gown a couple months ago. Like, does it come to the school? Does it come to us?
Yeah, very excellent question. So no, it does come to the school. Your student will actually go through a fitting where they'll actually, and then they'll go through a fitting, they'll show them how to wear it, and then the day before they actually all go to the Coliseum, we get their pictures, we collect it again, then they get it again. And so there's this whole, in about a month, yeah, you'll start getting
Fantastic.
communications because
I
this
was
is
like,
all
I'm
new.
not sure if I'm expecting this still from Jostens or not. Great. I digress. Any other new future agenda items that anyone would like to bring up? Please.
Talk about dedicating a gym as an agenda item, or do you want to get into
So here is my feeling on naming things. Is that it feels kind of arbitrary for us as a board to say we want to name something after a person. But like I said, what we did before was really, if somebody makes a suggestion to the board that doesn't come from us saying, we want to name this after so-and-so, then we have the option to deliberate on that. If it doesn't come from this group, like, and if it's I think that I'd be open to having you present something, right, at a board meeting. I don't know. I'm also open to other people's thoughts on that, because I worry that, like, if we open it up, everybody's going to want to name something after somebody, and that can get messy pretty quick. And so but I would love to hear other people's thoughts. I mean, I think that it makes for Blumenauer, yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, I would love for us to be able to recognize him as a graduate of Centennial, right? So, but, please.
My thoughts are if there's a tied connection very strong to our school, it's worth a conversation. But it's also nice to have some things happen organically. Something should happen in the community, or somebody brings something to us. Like, I think if we put on our website, like, you know, you want to mention notable people or things like that. I just don't want it to feel formulaic, and I'd like it to happen in a sort of organic, authentic way where it can be a response on our part instead of instigated on our part. How I feel. Please.
I just want to say I'm definitely open to a process. I want people to feel free to suggest such things. But if we were to move forward on it, that we have like a community process and a school, you know, community process.
Great. Anything else people would like to mention?
As far as the cancellation of the work session, is that something that you believe needs action, or are we all just good not having the work session?
Can I see an unofficial thumbs up of who would like to cancel the work session? Okay, canceled.
I'll take a training on
What, you guys don't want to meet?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I signed up for it.
It's a super fun training.
I didn't watch it because I figured they're gonna send me the link.
Do we have a bunch of policies we can hammer out? Or
That's the thing that I would, that would be my
Is
only.
there some nuanced work, because it's very rare that we all are collected here, and we already have on the calendar, is there any backlog of things that we should address?
There's a fresh batch
That's
of,
all I'm asking.
we just got a fresh batch of policies this week. I think it'll take us a little bit to digest them and work them through, so.
Take your time.
They won't, we can push them and rush them, but I think we're good. I think,
I'll give you a couple hours on Wednesday, the 20th, to work on it.
There's a snow day tomorrow.
All right, if there is nothing else, I will go ahead and adjourn the meeting at 8:08 PM. Thank you, everyone.
Just kidding, you can wear your pajamas too.
Recording stopped.
Oh, you got it. Where did he live? Like, it's him that has to drive hard.